So this problem here, same idea. We can collect together the powers for A, B and C, but we've got fractions to worry about now as well as negative numbers, so we just have to be careful of that. We can collect them together. It's a half and a sixth, so I've got to have a common denominator. The b's squared and a half, so I've got to add a fraction there, and the final one, negative number involved. So we get to here, add fractions, a half plus a sixth, 4/6, right, because a half is 3/6 plus another 6 is 4/6. 4/6 can be reduced to 2/3, so this becomes a to the 2/3. 2 plus a half is 2.5, but don't write it as 2.5. You can write it as 2.5, but if you write it as 5/2, which is 5 halves, then we can think about writing it in terms of roots, because we know it's a square root now. And then the final one, minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1, so c to the minus 1. So that would be one way of leaving the solution. However, 2/3, if you remember the law of indices that we were talking about to do with roots, the number underneath is the root. So this is like the cube root of a squared, the first one. So I can write it as the cube root of a squared. How would I rewrite b? Which root are we talking about? Right, the second root, or the square root of b to the 5. So the square root of b to the 5. We don't normally put the 2. Okay? Laziness convention. If you see a root sign on its own, it means the square root. So if there's no number there, it's a 2 outside. Okay? And then the last one, c to the minus 1 is the inverse of c. So 1/c, we could write that. Now, we've talked before in algebra about 1/c, meaning the same, multiplying by 1/c is the same as dividing by a number, or dividing by c. And we talked about that right at the beginning of the course, because it's something that comes up a lot. So again, this could be written as the cube root of a squared times the square root of b to the 5, all divided by c. So we could write it in any of these three ways, and they would all be correct. Okay? But what I want to point out is it's worth you seeing that they are three ways of writing the same thing.